Welcome to County Report this week. I'm Lorna Virgili, and thank you for watching. Coming up in the next half hour, good news for Metro Red Line users. New rail cars mean less wait time during rush hours. Plus, Executive Marc Elrich takes to the airwaves at Radio America to reach out to the county's Spanish-speaking population. And later, the capital's Stanley Cup makes a trip from D.C. to Gaithersburg. We'll tell you why. But first, hundreds turn out for the committee for Montgomery's annual legislative breakfast. Susan Kennedy has a story.
Leaders in government, education, nonprofit, and business came together at the annual legislative breakfast, united in one common goal, ensuring a strong future for Montgomery County.
It's pretty tough these days in Washington, D.C.
Senator Chris Van Hollen told the crowd about efforts nationally to fight a government shutdown, addressing the opioid epidemic, and work that advances the county's goals at the national level.
I am pleased to report that the funding from the federal level for the Purple Line remains in place, and that's a project that's moving forward. And the WMATA money for our Washington Metro, we will get the $150 million federal allocation.
Council President Nancy Navarro centered her remarks around a similar theme. She said there is no room for hate in Montgomery County, and there must be respect and unity.
The resurrection and normalization of hate and bigotry. This is not who we are. As we witness daily attacks on our core values from the highest office in the nation, we must all double down on our resolve to defend the fundamental core values of inclusion, respect, and freedom here at home.
President Navarro also stressed the need for quality early child care and education, which she says are critical to remaining economically competitive.
This is indeed an economic imperative. We must be strategic and invest in the early years because it is simply the best return on our investment and prepares all children to be ready to learn.
Newly elected County Executive Marc Elrich told the crowd the success of the county will come from its ability to work together. He focused his remarks on transportation and education and said what the Kirwan Commission is trying to do is important, but funding both teachers and classrooms are a priority.
It's important that we get to solutions to this, and that's why we're going to have to work very closely with our legislative partners to make sure we get a fair solution to this. Because I think what Kirwan wants to do is good for Montgomery County and it's good for the rest of the state, but it can't be funded on the back of Montgomery County. That is a non-starter.
In Rockville, I'm Susan Kennedy for County Report This Week.
This week, we sat down with County Executive Marc Elrich for the taping of our monthly show 101. He talked about his first days in office and what the financial picture looks like for the fiscal year 2020 operating budget.
So the last revenue disbursement was slightly positive compared to our what we had assumed, but it wasn't, that positive that you can say there's a bonanza coming. It wasn't bad news. And last year we had, pretty bad news. We've got another one, I guess it's coming in February, March, from that cusp there, and that'll give us a bigger picture, better picture of what we have going into the budget. We'll be working on the budget in the meantime, but we're hoping that our revenues stay consistent, which at least is where they sit right now, so that we have some security that our revenue estimates are going to be good for the rest of the year. And then, the issue is always what you do on the expense side. This is one thing, we've talked a lot, and it's going to be hard to do in the first year, but about how you go about restructuring. And we really do want to look at, department by department, at what are our opportunities for restructuring inside departments.
You can watch this entire interview on County Cable Montgomery and on the county's YouTube channel. It was a large gathering of elected officials at the Rockville Metro Station this week. It was a celebration of the resolution of a major shortcoming of Metro Rail service in the county as the red line turnback of rush hour trains has ended. This means that all peak hour morning and afternoon trains leaving Washington, D.C. will now travel all the way to the Shady Grove station. Since 1984, and due to a lack of rail cars, Metro had every other rush hour train turn back at Grosvenor and return downtown.
It's definitely going to benefit us and drivers. People are going to be able to get off of 355 and I-270 and go to parking lots at the stations that are closer to where they live. So this is an enormous benefit for riders in Montgomery County. It's been a long time coming. 1984 is like 34 years ago. It's taken a while to get here, but we're here now, and I do look forward to working with WMATA and with MDOT and our own folks in DOT to make sure that we continue to prioritize public transportation, make it easier for our residents to get around without having to go out on the street and drive.
This past year, Maryland joined Virginia and the District of Columbia in a commitment to provide additional funding to Metro. Some of those funds were used to purchase new rail cars to eliminate the turnbacks during rush hour. As a result, there will now be trains every 4 minutes at the stations impacted by the turnaround. Those stations are White Flint, Twin Brook, Rockville, and Shady Grove. NCPS students' government associations were joined by Montgomery County Council members at their latest assembly. Here's more.
On December 13th, members from the Montgomery County Council were invited to meet with students at the Montgomery County Student Government Association's General Assembly, held at Richard Montgomery High School in Rockville. This joint meeting of the Montgomery County Regional and Montgomery County Junior Councils allowed both high school and middle school students to meet the council members, learn about student government, and advocate for issues important to them.
We fund the school system, over $2.5 billion, and my job as taking care of taxpayer money is to make sure that money is spent responsibly. So we want to hear from the students that are impacted most directly by that funding.
Our organizations are looking at voter registration, and we're also looking at pedestrian safety, which is what we'll be talking with the county council members about as well. And we want to make sure that people outside of this organization are able to engage with their elected officials.
Students need to have a voice in their own county, and I think that's so important to learn legislative skills early and be able to pass a motion because it's so important in college and in the rest of your life.
I get to hear perspectives from people all over the county, both middle school and high school, talking about different things. Last year it was about some recent suicides and mental health. This year I think it's going to be pedestrian safety.
The morning also included food and entertainment, and plenty of time to talk and listen.
With all levels of the county, from organizing
For you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Will Juando presented certificates of recognition to current SGA presidents, followed by a Q&A.
What advice do you have for the young folks in the room today that are interested in community advocacy?
That's a great question. And as I just told you, community is what got me involved in politics. Get yourselves together, much like you are now, and figure out what issues you want to tackle.
Now, don't be shy about the conflict. You know, when we have conflict in politics, it's because we're making a change. If there's no friction, then there's nothing happening. Nothing is going to be different because nothing changes without the friction.
I think the biggest challenge we have in MCPS now is in our 162,000 plus system is making sure that every student in every school, the over 200 schools, has access to high quality, differentiated instruction, and where every teacher believes they can learn and that there's equity in the school system. I think that's our biggest challenge. The opportunity and achievement gap is our biggest challenge right now.
Breakout sessions allowed students to voice their concerns. The meeting ended with SGA news, updates, and reports, and teens and their legislators looking toward the future.
Coming up on County Report this week, there are 421 parks in the county, and we chat with someone who has visited almost all of them. And get ready to roll up your sleeves during the upcoming Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service. The county joins nonprofits to organize volunteer activities. Those stories and more when we return.
Did you know there are more than 10,000 county government phone numbers? But there's only one number you need to remember for non-emergency calls, 311. MC311 is Montgomery County government's online telephone information system. Need information? Have a problem or complaint? Trying to locate a county government facility? Call 311. The call center is open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The website is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
In Montgomery County, we have a goal to reduce waste and recycle 70% of all waste by 2020. By recycling and reducing waste, we save natural resources and make our community even better. So recycle at home, work, school, everywhere, and keep recycling going. For more information, call the Montgomery County, Maryland Division of Solid Waste Services at 311 or visit montgomerycountymd.gov/recycling.
Keep it going.
Recycle more now. Welcome back to County Report This Week. I'm Lorna Virgili. It's been almost a year since Montgomery County Planning Board Chair Casey Anderson set out to visit all of Montgomery County's 421 parks. It was his New Year's resolution, and as the year comes to a close, he's about to accomplish his goal. Casey joins us in the studio to share some of what he has discovered. Now tell us, what was that experience like?
Well, having seen all 421 parks, over 37,000 acres of land, I can tell you that we have one of the best park systems in the entire country. We've won the National Recreation and Park Association Gold Medal Award for Best Large Park System anywhere 6 times. That's more than any other park system, and I think I can now tell you that we deserved it. The parks are really fantastic, from the rural areas, places out in Boyd's and Dickerson along the CO Canal. We have great urban parks in places like Bethesda, Silver Spring, Wheaton, White Oak, and White Flint. So we're really trying to deliver a great park experience no matter what you're looking for. Some people want to go to the parks because they want to get back to nature, and we have plenty of parks where you can go bird watching, take a hike through the woods, just really get away from it all. We also have parks where you can meet a friend or go people watching in one of our central business districts, in one of our downtown areas. We have parks where your kids can go play soccer, or if they're into cricket or baseball, lacrosse, whatever their game is, we can accommodate that. So I think that one of the things I've taken away is just the diversity of our park system, all the different needs it serves, and it's been great to see all the people in Montgomery County out enjoying them from one end of the county to the other.
Casey, thank you for being here. Happy holidays. And for more information about the parks, visit montgomeryparks.org. The Martin Luther King holiday will be observed on Monday, January 21st, 2019. We joined together to honor Dr. King's life and teachings at the Montgomery County MLK Day of Service from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Bethesda North Marriott Conference Center, as well as our partner sites at the Silver Spring Civic Building and Seneca Creek Community Church in Gaithersburg. Thousands of volunteers will participate in community service projects that will help many local nonprofits. Cutting fabric into scarves for the homeless, painting Valentine's Day cards for the men and women in the U.S. military. These are just a few ways that dozens of Montgomery County residents can volunteer on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Volunteers say serving on this day is a great way to build better relationships within the community. To find out where you can volunteer, go to montgomeryserves.org. Also on Monday, January 21st, the county will be hosting its free annual MLK Tribute and Celebration. The MLK celebration will be held at the Strathmore, and the free tickets will be distributed on site the day of the performance starting at 2:30 p.m. For more information, go to strathmore.org. County Executive Marc Elrich was our guest on the county's Spanish language radio show this week. He talked about education, budget, the fact that he's committed to learn some Spanish, and he also had a message for minority communities.
I want to continue to assure people that Montgomery County is going to continue to be a welcoming and inclusive community. I'm going to continue the work with the Office of Community Partnerships and make sure that, wherever you come from, regardless what language you speak or what your beliefs are, that you're going to find Montgomery County to be a welcoming home. And while we may have serious problems in Washington, we are not going to let those problems visit us in Montgomery County. We are proud of our role in making sure we protect and work with our communities, and that's not going to change.
Coming up on County Report this week, basketball lovers, we bring you a recap of the holiday tournament at Montgomery College. And a former county executive candidate brings the Washington Capitals Stanley Cup to Gaithersburg High School. Stay with us. County Report this week. We'll be right back.
Hey, mister, down here. You illegally passed the stop school bus. I'm placing you in timeout, and this timeout means big fines, plus you really could have hurt somebody. That's why school buses are being equipped with video cameras to help kids like me stay safe, so respect the bus.
Welcome back to County Report this week. I'm Lorna Virgili. Montgomery College hosted their annual holiday basketball tournament recently, and MCTV's Michael Brown was there to bring us all the highlights.
Every year, the Raptors assemble a strong field for their annual holiday tournament, and this year was no exception. In the women's bracket on day one, Monroe Community College from New York moved into the finals with a 66-57 win over Wake Tech from North Carolina. And in the other women's semifinal, the host MC Raptors jumped out to a 10-point lead in the first quarter against Cuyahoga Community College from Ohio and led from start to finish to make the finals. 5 Raptors scored in double figures in the dominating 94-59 win. Nusaiba Rashad led the way with 20 points and 19 rebounds, while Alexis Mack added 19. In the first men's semifinal, Mercyhurst from Pennsylvania advanced to Sunday's final by knocking off Nassau from New York 66-63. And then in the final game of the day, the host Raptors held off Thaddeus Stevens College 98-92 to make the finals. 4 Raptors went for double figures. Paul Garcia led the way with 29 and Vince Rose added 25. In Sunday's women's final, the host Raptors ran into a buzzsaw from Monroe. The Tribunes were unstoppable in the first quarter, building a 17-point lead, and the Raptors just couldn't catch up, despite playing them even the rest of the way. The extremely young Raptors got strong games from Jordan Odom and Rashad, who both went for 16, but Monroe took the tournament championship 91-63. The men's final was a dogfight from the opening tip. MC led at the half by 6, but Mercyhurst rallied late in the second half to tie it and send it to overtime. But the Raptors dominated the extra period to take the tournament title 97-90. 6 Raptors hit double figures, led by Paul Garcia's 21 and 17 from Charlie Ali. For County Report this week from Montgomery College, I'm Michael Brown.
Washington Capitals part owner David Blair took the Stanley Cup to visit the Brothers program at Gaithersburg High School. My MC Media has a story.
On the count of 3, we're going to say Stanley Cup. 1, 2, 3.
Stanley Cup! The Stanley Cup is making the rounds around the D.C. area since the Washington Capitals won the coveted trophy in June. As part owner of the team, David Blair of Potomac gets a half day with the cup, and he took it to the Brothers program at Gaithersburg High School. Brothers, which stands for Brothers Reaching Out to Help Each Reach Success, is a program to help students meet challenges and with that move on to college and careers.
What does the Stanley Cup mean to your boys?
You know, for these young men, it's not the Stanley Cup as much as it is the gesture of having Mr. Blair bring the cup to them. He could have taken that cup anywhere in the country, you know, but he chose to share it with a group of young men that he knew really needed that kind of shot in the arm.
So how many hockey fans do you think you have in your program?
All of my hockey fans today, all of them.
The students got a chance to pose with the trophy for photos, as well as handle the championship ring that Blair received for being part of the organization. Blair's connection to Brothers goes back to his run for county executive earlier in the year. He met Hudson and became impressed with the mentoring Hudson is performing at the school.
But one of the benefits for being a part owner is we also got to see what the other owners done. And so the cup's been to Walter Reed, it's been to Children's Hospital, and so it's had an opportunity to be in many fabulous places. And so I felt, to me, my deepest connection was here. I grew up not far from here at Gaithersburg. I grew up in Darnestown, and so it was, while it was a tough choice, I certainly feel great about it.
Students of Brothers called the arrival of the Stanley Cup a great privilege.
This is a tremendous honor, especially for our brothers. We put so much work and so much effort, and it just feels amazing to be congratulated with such a tremendous honor like the Stanley Cup, something that isn't seen everywhere. It's just amazing.
David McKee's brother Christian is a member of Brothers. He said he's looking forward to joining the program when he enters Gaithersburg High School next year. In the meantime, he's excited about the Cup.
It's a really big honor to be here and to see the Stanley Cup. It's just really awesome to be here to see the Stanley Cup.
At Gaithersburg High School, this is Doug Tallman for County Report This Week.
Coming up on County Report this week, we have some important holiday safety tips to help us avoid house fires. Plus, it was that annual trip for Santa, a ride on a Harley to bring toys and smiles to the kids at the Children's Inn at NIH. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Interested in career success? Get to Montgomery College and we'll get you going. You can earn an associate's degree in only 2 years. With 3 campuses, award-winning faculty, and multiple online learning opportunities, Montgomery College will empower you to set your course and succeed. Want to pursue a bachelor's degree? If you start at MC, you can save 1/3 on total tuition costs of a 4-year program. Apply today.
Experience the magic at this year's Winter Lights Festival, a dazzling drive-through light festival at Seneca Creek State Park in Gaithersburg, Maryland. Enjoy more than 450 illuminated light displays with 65 animations as you wind your way through Winter Woods, Teddy Bear Land, Penguin Cove, the North Pole, and more. Winter Lights. Experience the magic.
Welcome back to County Report This Week. I'm Lorna Virgili. From keeping your holiday tree hydrated to not overcrowding those electrical outlets, Rockville 11's Craig Buchanan has some safety tips to avoid fires this winter holiday season.
The winter holiday season is in full swing, so it's time to gather with friends and family. But decorating your home can put your loved ones at risk. Here are several essential tips to ensure a happy and fire-safe holiday season. According to Rockville Fire Marshal Timothy Deal, the most common fires that you can prevent are from cooking and improper heating.
When you got your fireplace going, you want to make sure that everything's away from it. Your combustibles are your most common source. Cooking fires still because you're entertaining, so you make sure that the stoves are turned off, your pans away. Keep kids out of the kitchen as much as possible.
And when it comes to your Christmas tree, choose a natural tree with fresh green needles that don't fall off when touched. Make sure the tree is at least 3 feet away from these common heat sources found in your home. Remember to add water to the tree stand daily.
The best thing to do is definitely make sure that you keep that tree watered. You want to make sure that you water it on a daily basis. If it looks like it's starting to get dry, if the needles start falling off, it's definitely time to look at replacing or getting rid of the tree.
And here are some other tips to keep you safe this holiday season. Always turn off Christmas tree lights and blow out candles before leaving your home or going to bed. Check that your lights are UL listed so you know they aren't cheaply made. Make sure to use lights labeled for indoor use. Take the time to inspect your lights.
40% of the fires that occur in Christmas trees occur because of electrical issues, whether the plugs are bad or the lights are bad. So it's real important that you go through and you make sure that those are intact. If they're worn, if they show any kind of decay, go buy new ones. That's the best advice there is.
And the simplest tip of all, before you open your home for the holidays, be sure to check your smoke alarm, because it's your first line of defense. For additional tips to keep your holiday season safe from fires, head to nfpa.org/winter holiday safety. For County Report This Week, I'm Craig Buchanan.
The Washington Regional Alcohol Program 2018 Holiday Sober Ride Program is in partnership with Lyft. During this campaign between 8 p.m. and 4 a.m. from now until January 1st, use promo codes issued which are valid for up to $15 off one ride taken in Lyft's Washington, D.C. coverage area. To use this service, go to soberride.com for the code. This offer is valid for new and existing Lyft users. You must be at least 21 to claim this offer, and users are financially responsible for anything over $15. Santa and the Montgomery County Police Department raised awareness for the Children's Inn at NIH this holiday season. My MC Media has a story.
There's a new police officer coming to town, Officer Chris Kringle, aka Santa Claus. He's riding around Montgomery County on his Harley motorcycle, finding out who's naughty or nice.
List every once in a while, and I see one of them teetering toward the naughty list, but they always bounce back pretty good.
Every holiday season, Santa gives Rudolph the day off and teams up with Montgomery County police officers to collect gifts from local businesses, which are donated to children and families at the Children's Inn at NIH.
The Children's Inn is a place like home for families to come from all over the world to stay and receive groundbreaking medical treatment at the National Institutes of Health.
The police officers worked as Santa's elves. They weren't creating toys, but they collected toys for families in need.
Because one thing I found out is that police officers in general are all good, decent men and women.
We go around and to the different stops. There's donations that are made from certain corporations or companies. Once we do that, we go to the Children's Inn, and they're all there with their families, and it's a way for them to kind of have a special Christmas with their families and have Santa be able to, surprise the kids and be there and them have a actual family Christmas.
After all the gifts were collected, Officer Santa and the police elves delivered the presents to the Children's Inn.
And it just is a magical experience that the officers bring so much joy to the families in a time that they really need it.
Seeing children smile made this trip to Montgomery County worth it for Santa.
Well, let me tell you something. There is nothing better in the world or the world of Santa Claus than seeing kids smile and kids laugh, knowing that they just are loved and that we're just here to share that love with them.
After a day's work, Santa dropped hints about what he wants people to leave him for Christmas.
My favorite cookie by far and away is a Snickerdoodle. However, I will accept any cookie you put out there.
For County Report This Week, I'm Deirdre Byrne.
And now it's time to meet our pet of the week. Here we have Charlie. He's a 5-year-old American Pit Bull Terrier. He is very friendly, as he is often called Smiley from time to time. He is very active, as you can see, and loves to play. He loves burrowing in blankets and long walks. Charlie would be a good fit in a home environment with kids 12 and older, and can coexist with another dog-friendly playmate. Please call the Montgomery County Animal Services and Adoption Center at 240-773-5900 or visit Charlie on the web at montgomerycountymd.gov/ASD. And with that, we close this edition of County Report This Week. Remember to like us on Facebook and to join us again at this time every week for a look at what's going on inside Montgomery County. We leave you now with the sights and sounds of the holiday season at the Rockville Town Square. I'm Lorna Virgili, and thank you for watching.